We've always had room in our hearts for film and TV, not just on Netflix, but tape and disc in theaters. Also, God forbid that they take it all away and leave us nothing to broadcast to loyal listeners. We'll binge watch every single movie, so you don't have to. What else are we here for? Coming to you every week. Listen to us while you're busy. Luckily, we forgot to grow up. Hey everybody, it's Craig.
Hey, it's Scott.
Hey, it's Andrew.
Welcome to episode number 50 of the Forgot to Grow Up podcast. That's right, you heard me correctly. 50, not 15. 50. We've done 50 episodes. It feels like it, I'm sure, to those of you who have listened since the very beginning. Good for you, by the way, for sticking with us.
Yeah, it's very good for you.
Thanks, Mom.
Respect and love to you people.
Very appreciative of the 6 of you. On this week's episode of the podcast, we're going to talk about the blockbuster movies from the summer of 2018. We're probably going to debate what makes a blockbuster. We already had the debate about when summer movies start, so I don't know if we're going to use it for this episode.
I used that rule.
Okay,
I feel like I can't just backtrack now.
That's fair, but that means that Deadpool 2 and the Avengers don't make your cut.
They don't.
This is going to make for an interesting episode, everybody. Hang on to your hats. Then we're going to talk about...
Y'all like Christopher Robin?
That's not even on any list I could find. That's interesting. Then we're going to talk about what we watched this week, or in a segment that we really, really, really like to call WWWTW. And then we're all going to go to bed. So... who wants to start talking about? I guess we could reiterate what we've defined as, or what Andrew defines as a blockbuster, or a summer blockbuster. So Andrew, hit us with what your criteria are for a blockbuster.
For me personally, I don't really care about the financials for a blockbuster. Okay. Those don't matter at all to me. As long as it was a popular movie, like I need to have heard people talking about it. I need to see people posting about it on social media.
There's got to be some gifs.
There's got to be some gifs.
Maybe some.
And then we decided earlier on another episode that I don't accept anything before May 24 weekend as a summer blockbuster.
Yes.
So there's a couple of movies that were technically summer blockbusters that are not on my list.
Which I think is Avengers.
Like to me, if it's like just because it's playing in the summer, it doesn't make it a summer blockbuster. Like if it's opened in February, and was in theaters long past the Blu-ray release date, that's not a fucking summer blockbuster to me.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that mostly. I think Avengers Infinity War is very, like, especially since it got moved to April. It's like, yeah, it kind of falls out of it just a little bit in my mind.
That's a spring movie. Like, yeah. Considering it was literally like a month into spring.
Yeah, exactly. I still had snow here in Ottawa, so I'm just like, you can't call this summer.
Yeah.
But yeah, so which movie would you say is the first summer blockbuster of 2018 then?
The first? Oh man, I don't have the dates beside any of mine.
Okay, I'd have to Google I think the order was Infinity War, which we've already taken out, and then Deadpool 2, which would also be out by your count, and I think Solo would be the other one that's out by your.
I think
date.
Solo came out in June, didn't it? No, I think Solo it came out like the May day 25th. After. Yeah.
Okay, so right on
Solo
the weekend. So Solo counts. So Solo's the first one, I think, by your reckoning. Then.
Yeah.
We've talked about Solo. We had a whole episode on it. Some of us liked it. There's parts that we all had a little...
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly how we all felt about it, to be honest.
I think we liked it.
I had no issue.
I liked it, and there was a couple things I had little problems with, like how he got his name, but there's a rant about that on our YouTube channel. But yeah, so what was after Solo then? I guess would be... Oh... We should definitely have written the dates down. Maybe Jurassic World, we'll say. We'll just pretend it was Jurassic World was after that, just because it's the next written down on my list. We again did an episode for that one as well. That one I was disappointed in.
Coming before Jurassic
Okay,
World.
We'll talk about Ocean's 8 before it.
That was June 8th.
I liked Ocean's 8.
I did as well. I look forward to owning that shit.
Yeah, I hope they do end up making a sequel. It was good.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a lot of this episode.
Yeah.
Refer to, like, especially the ones we've done these episodes for. People just, you gotta refer back to those ones to find out all of our deep
What we
thoughts
should
on
have
them.
done is, in preparation for this episode, gone back and figured out which episodes we talked about them, so that we could refer back to them. But
that would be preparation.
It says it in the
diehard
episode
forgot to grow up
titles.
listeners, they will
They
know
we
that
all
we're not
prepped
prepared.
Literally 15 minutes ago.
But next up, we got Incredibles 2 and Tag. Did you guys... I
Those
totally
are-
forgot about Tag.
I saw neither one of those, and I
Neither
forgot
did I.
Tag was even a movie. So
I feel guilty because I love me some John Hamm.
Yeah.
It's-
I didn't get to
but
seeing either of these. I wanted to see The Incredibles. Tag,
Incredibles is definitely blockbuster status for me.
Oh, definitely. Oh,
Like,
no one can argue with that. It's the
No.
second highest grossing movie or third highest grossing movie in the world right now.
yeah,
Like Black Panther and
believe it.
Infinity War. Then it's Incredibles 2, I'm pretty sure. So, yeah,
Yeah.
no, it was definitely a big hit. I meant to go see it, but again, it's one of those movies that's very
You don't have a
family
kid,
forward.
so you would...
Yeah, I have a kid, so I needed at least somebody else to come with me. I don't know people, so I didn't go see it.
And then Tag, I just never got around to see it. I was like, oh, I'll watch that when Netflix.
Yeah,
Brings it up.
that's how I felt about Tag 2. I'm like, it looked funny, it looks interesting. I like the fact that that's where Jeremy Renner was instead of filming Infinity War.
Yeah,
Just a little funny, but
priorities.
yeah. But I also like that it looked like a good one. I like the cast. I just didn't quite get to go and see it, but that was on my list of wanted to go see but didn't see. I have a few of those. Should we talk about the next one on my wanted
'cause
to
I didn't
see
see
but I
either
didn't
one of
see?
those.
Yes,
Since
sure,
we've talked
hit
about
us.
most of the ones we've already seen. The Meg. I didn't see the Meg. I wanted to go see it. I think it may even still be in theaters. I still probably won't go see it. I'll probably wait for DVD or Netflix
Yeah,
or whatever.
Yeah,
I think you saw it, Andrew, right?
I did. It was pretty good. It was worth seeing in theaters, but also not necessary.
Yeah, I think. I'm
So,
gonna leave
like,
that to not
all
necessary.
movies?
Yeah. True, very true. But yeah, that one looked interesting. You know, can't go wrong with a shark movie, so I figure I'd check it out eventually. The next one that I wanted to see but I didn't get to seeing was Mission Impossible, the new one. I really wanted to see Henry Cavill punch people with a mustache.
And he was hot as shit doing it.
Yeah, and I'm fairly upset with myself that I didn't make the trip to go see it. I still might if it's maybe in theaters this weekend still. Go check it out because I do want to see it.
I'd recommend it. It was really good.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've heard a lot of really good things about it. Like one of the best in the franchise. Did a really good job of like keeping with like the tone of the franchise, but also doing something a little new. So yeah, definitely gonna go check that one out. Definitely in the summer blockbuster category. I think it's made quite a bit of money as well. And I know we don't do financials, but it's been pretty popular. I would say. I think the fact that Tom Cruise broke his foot to make this movie helped a little bit.
Dude, I know what that's like, and he's a trooper.
He really is. Yeah, I think that's what he'll say on his gravestone one day. Tom Cruise.
he's a trooper.
Trooper.
He's a trooper. Not was. He is.
Still is a
away.
trooper.
Yeah. But yeah, those were all the movies I wanted to see, but I didn't get to go seeing. Minus
They
Mamma
would
Mia,
also
which
be
was
on my list.
half.
Here we go again.
Did any of us end up seeing that?
I did not.
No, neither
No.
did I.
Okay. Well, yeah, I'm curious about it, but not enough to have gone to see it in theaters. So, yeah, that's another one of those Netflix ones.
Yep, I feel that.
Yeah. Well, what have we not talked about so far? We're getting through these really quickly, since we've
Well,
already talked about most of them.
I didn't look at the date, but when did Ant-Man and the Wasp come out?
Ant-Man and the Wasp
July.
was slightly, yeah, it was a later one. Again, I feel like that one, I think that one was slightly underwhelmed by a lot of people because of,
Underwhelmed in terms of hype or underwhelmed in terms of seeing it? Because I did not see it, nor did I hear about it.
yeah, see both those points. I would say I'd say like people weren't that excited to go see it because, like, there wasn't like any open questions as there was in, like, going into Infinity War like leading up to Infinity War, even all the movies before it, there was still a lot more of a mystery. Whereas when Infinity War happened, you were like, oh yeah, Ant-Man's not solving these problems. Like like that was the only question around Ant-Man, was like, how does it fit into the events of Infinity War? And so I think that had something against it. But
I think it was just for Ant-Man, like it was almost a guaranteed flop, or like it was guaranteed to do mediocre, just because. Like, how the fuck do you follow up Infinity War? Arguably, the best superhero movie ever made. Like, how do you follow that up? Like,
yeah, no, I thought they did it was such a weird idea for them to put it so soon.
And they did it, like, it was a decent movie. It wasn't the worst thing in the world. It just wasn't Infinity War caliber.
Well, exactly. Like, coming off of, like, Black Panther, then Infinity War, two of, like, arguably the best of, the MCU, and I would say in the general audience's minds, a lot of people really, really dug Black Panther, right? So off those two, and then going into Ant-Man being like, yeah, it's good. It's not like on that next tier with those other two. So yeah, no, I agree. I think that definitely had something against it. Plus, it had the weirdest rollout schedule because of like World Cup stuff and other things like that. Like it only just got to like Europe like a couple weeks ago, even, right? So like
like the fact that they all, like, the 3 Marvel movies that came out this year all came out, like, the first 7 months.
Yeah.
It seems like piss poor planning. Like,
super piss poor. I have to wait till March now.
I still stand by, like, they shouldn't have done the Ant-Man, like, post-credit scene. Spoiler alerts, by the way.
Yeah.
With, where he shrinks down and then everyone disappears. Or even if they did that, they could do that scene and no one would know what the fuck's going on. For all you know, it's like radio silence.
Yeah, that's
it would just be something happened up in the real world and no one knows.
Yeah, leave it a little more ambiguous.
Like they literally could have flipped those and no one would have any idea until you watch Infinity War and you see the end of it.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like I think it would have made a little more sense too. You would have been like, oh, that's where Scott is during Infinity War.
Yeah.
Stuck in the quantum, whatever.
Yeah. Like if you go in and you watch, let's say, Black Panther in February, and then if they did Ant-Man in May, and then Infinity War even in like September, October, like that would carry you out all through the fall.
Oh yeah, I agree. Even if
people would still be going to see it at Christmas, like.
Yeah, no, I think it definitely they could have maybe rearranged it a little bit better, but at the same time they are Marvel. They probably know a little bit.
They do what they want.
They know a little bit about this stuff too.
Or at least the only reason I can see them putting out Ant-Man so early and then having that huge gap is just to like let people salivate and get psyched for Captain Marvel.
Yeah, no,
which was going to happen anyways, right?
Yeah, I think I don't know why they would think people aren't psyched for it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we don't need to build hype for. Well, see, that's the thing. Like, I think that was the problem with Ant-Man a little bit too. It didn't have enough time to build up hype after with all this stuff, right? Like, yeah, we're gonna have a lot of hype for Captain Marvel now because it's such a big gap between Marvel movies, and we're just, we only have like 2 other superhero movies in between that, which is Venom, which is that's a coin toss for still there, and then Aquaman, which I'm sure is gonna be good.
Yeah.
That's not till November or December. So
December, before Christmas, yeah.
Yeah, so that's a little bit, but we do at least have that to hold us off. But it's still, I would have liked either Captain Marvel sooner, or for them to have put Ant-Man either a little later or something like that. That would have worked out better, I think.
When is it the second Avengers movie comes out? Like May?
Yeah, May. That's why I'm just
like it does. Like they're gonna give you 2. They're gonna give you 2 months to watch Captain Marvel and then move on.
Yeah, especially if you apply the same kind of reasoning to Captain Marvel as Black Panther had, which is it's a first of its kind demographic for the Marvel universe, right? So it's the first female-led superhero movie for the MCU. So if you take that equated in the same sense of like, oh, it should do similar things to Black Panther in the sense that is very significant to a certain demographic, right? I think it's kind of weird that they're putting even closer to their other movie than they did this year, right?
Yeah.
So it's
it's like Captain Marvel really realistically should have come out in November, this November.
Yeah.
I know that would make it a super heavy year this year, or push back Avengers 2. it seems like it just doesn't make sense to me as a moviegoer to be like, oh, okay, well, what the fuck is happening? Why is there 2 months in between one to the next?
Yeah, that throws me off sometimes too. I feel like
This isn't Back to the Future. I don't want to see shit that close.
well, for me it's annoying too because I'm like, oh, I'd like it to come out on DVD so I can rewatch the movie before, like the previous movie. So like Black Panther didn't come out on DVD before, or just come out on DVD before Infinity War, and it's like, well, no, I want a little more of a gap. I need like a month to try and get that thing and rewatch it a couple times before the next one comes out, and then I have to, get to theaters for that and be thinking about that one. Like, come on, guys, help me out. You guys not 20 movies out to catch up on every time you release a new one, for God's sake.
Yeah, goddamn sons of bitches.
It's a long weekend, guys. All right. Well, who would have thought that Ant-Man was the one we would talk about the longest?
Yeah, really.
These summer blockbusters.
Really?
I think we've talked about all the ones on my list. What do you guys got left on your lists for summer blockbusters?
Man, honestly, I spaced. I forgot what we've talked about so far, so I'm just gonna do my whole goddamn list. Okay.
Sure, hit us with it.
Go with it. Works.
So we did Ant-Man and the Wasp, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Talked
Okay.
about it.
Ocean's 8. We mentioned it,
Yep.
and we talked about it on a whole episode.
Yeah.
Still love that movie.
Yeah. It's good.
So Solo was mentioned off the top. I do remember that.
Yep.
The Incredibles 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Talked about that. Yeah.
Yes. Jurassic World, which
We did a whole episode on.
we did a whole episode
Yep.
on. Okay.
Highlight. I was disappointed. There you go.
Yep. Fair enough. It was meh.
That's even better. I like that. Pull that
Yeah.
Pull that quote. Meh.
Meh. Meh. Meh. Anyways, next up I got Mission Impossible, which Scott said he did not see. I did see, and that one definitely fits the blockbuster category for me. I know it was a later in the summer movie.
Yeah.
However, I'd say it's probably one of my favorite Mission Impossibles.
Everybody talked about it.
Yeah.
It's been pretty hyped. I
It's
don't know how I didn't manage to see it, but
late career Tom Cruise seems to be pulling it together better than early career Tom Cruise.
Well, he's super
just-
leaning into the I'm an action star now.
Yeah.
There was a time he would do action and random romance ones, and now he just doesn't even bother with romance. He doesn't even have romance subplots in a lot of his movies,
No.
which is what I like particularly about him. I'm like, yeah, screw
Well,
it.
the only
You don't need
romance. Okay, spoilers. The only romance in Mission Impossible is
This is
you see an ex-love of his in one, and he's like, "Oh shit!" And then you see the girl from Rogue Nation,
yeah,
the one who he's not fighting against her, but they're kind of
yeah. No, I remember.
against each other. She comes back again, and then Bing Rames is like, he likes your chick. I mean, he doesn't call her chick. I just can't remember her name. He's like, he likes you, and you're like, oh shit. And then that's it. There's no real heavy romance involved.
That's good. That's what I want from my Tom Cruise. Very little romance.
But next up, I've got The Meg, which, like I said, pretty decent movie. I did talk about that before, so I'm not going to dive back into it.
Yeah, I feel like we talked about a lot of these ones before.
We did. We talked about most of them.
Yeah. Next up, I've got Skyscraper, which
See,
I
that
talked
one I don't
about.
think we talked too much about.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
That sounds like it's become a joke, though. I haven't seen it, but every
It's
time
not
I've
that
heard
bad.
it after, it has been in a joking sense. So
It's not that bad. It's not that good. It seems like something that would be better off. I don't know if it was based off a book, but it seems like something that would be better off being read.
I think I know what you mean. Yeah, I could see how
Some
that'd be a
some
better
things
book.
you can come up with it better in your head.
Yeah. Then yeah.
This
having
is one of them.
Than somebody actually doing it for you.
Yeah. Next up, I've got, and this one 100% blockbuster, even if I was the only one who saw it, other than Craig, Equalizer 2.
right, I forgot I saw that.
Because that movie is
That movie was so good.
amazing. The Equalizer movies are just incredible.
The,
And I think it's just it's Denzel, 100% Denzel.
which
That's
I
why
couldn't
they're
have
so
told
good.
You that I'd seen a Denzel movie before. I'm sure I have, but I wouldn't have been able to pick it out for you. But man, that was a good movie.
Yes. It's everything is so smooth. and just he's so casual about everything, and it's just he's meticulous. And it's just that the fact that it's like it's an action movie mixed with like, you know, that little bit of like suspenseful thriller.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's definitely more because it's one-on-one for the most part. There isn't a whole lot of.
Well, he breaks shit down, right?
Exactly.
Like everything's a puzzle, and he's like, I'm gonna take you out one by one. I'm going to split you up because I'm going to win this shit. It's just so good.
And you know it's gonna be a good movie when they use flour as an explosive.
Yeah. Like, I honestly, like, I know I've said it before on the podcast, but like I watched the first one again after I watched that one in theaters, and I forgot he really doesn't kill people with guns. There's only like a couple people he actually shoots. Like, there's one guy in the first one, he shoots him with someone else's gun, not his, and then he kills everyone else with like tools. And then you get up into the second one, he shoots someone with a harpoon. Blows them up with flour.
How do you blow somebody up with flour?
It's highly flammable.
It's flammable. And because what he does is he's hiding, right? He's going from place to place, and he's being like hunted down by like these professional killers.
Okay.
And he's in like Maine or something. Like he's in like this small town, and he goes into a bakery, which actually used to be his wife's at one point, which is kind of cool. But he goes in, and then he's got these fans set up in all the corners, and he turns the fans on, and he just goes on and just quick slices, because that's his thing. He's got like this fucking badass knife, and just slices open the bags. Now there's flour just blowing in a circle in there, and he knows that the military guys are going to throw in flash grenades to shock you. So he throws it in, and the guy just blows himself up.
Yeah.
So he's got that. There's one guy he just slices him up with the knife.
I didn't know flour was combustible.
When it's in the
flammable.
air like that, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. It makes sense to me now that, like you say, I just never thought of it before.
Yeah.
That's craziness. Now I gotta go
So
see
that's
this
two.
movie.
There's another guy. He just slices and dices, like he just like, and then just cuts him up and guts him, and you're like, oh shit. And then there's the fourth guy, which is like the main bad guy, which is a guy like he has an intimate relationship with, and well, not like loving, but he's got some like there's interpersonal, and like the way they fight and like the way he kills him, fucking like insane.
But then you have the other half of his character where he's trying to help the teenage kid in his building keep his life on the straight path.
Oh yeah.
Goes into the gang apartment building and gives a whole speech about you've got a choice. Oh, so good.
Like he literally like he walks into this apartment like with no gun, no nothing, and he takes a fully automatic weapon off of one of the drug dealer gang members. Okay, like just he fucks him up, takes the gun off him, leaves like 5 guys laying in the stairwell, just unconscious, dead, whatever, and just walks into like the gang hangout in one of the apartments, just gun out, like, come on, you're going, let's go,
let's do this.
Leaves them in that apartment, gets down to the main foyer again, and then has the chat with the guy, where he's like, oh, you want to be a killer? Okay, kill me, and he like gives him the gun and like puts it up against his head. Like Joker style. Yeah. He's like, no, so you're not going to do it. And he's like breaks down scientifically why the kid's not going to do it. And you're like, oh shit.
Yeah, that was such a good movie.
Oh, it was so good. I'm glad you went and saw it, Craig, because like I feel like no one has seen those movies, and they're so underappreciated because they're so good. The first one's on Netflix.
I know. I meant to watch it when it was coming out, and I don't know. I didn't.
Okay.
So maybe I couldn't tell you a good reason why. I just didn't.
Maybe it's just because like it's my type of movie, but like I feel like you'd be like,
yep, just absolutely because we're not doing this on video this week.
Yeah, just dumbfounded. Just Denzel's amazing.
That's fair.
Like in the first one, like he kills a dude with a nail gun.
That's badass, and I like his other action films, like Man on Fire, and what's the other one? That's
you think you're the man on fire?
I actually understood that reference.
Crystalia.
I know. I watched that this week.
Ooh, spoilers.
Spoiler.
Whoa.
Getting ahead of yourself there, Scott.
Not by much.
Anyways, the last thing I have on my list isn't even one I saw, but like this is just one I want to mention because I feel like it didn't get much traction, and that's Mile 22.
The
Mark
I heard
Wahlberg
that
one
crashed hard. Like it made
like
no
I saw a couple of previews leading up to it.
Oh, I've never
then,
seen a trailer for it. That's the weird thing.
I saw a couple, and then I saw them at the theaters with fucking Tanner Z being a dickhead.
Tanner Z, that's his job.
Like being a dickhead.
His business card, professional dickhead.
Makes sense. Professional dickhead and d-bag. But he was there, and they talk with Mark Wahlberg about it, and then that's it. I haven't talked to anyone who's seen it. Nope. It seems like it should be a movie that's doing way better than it is.
Yeah, I think it came out at a very precarious time. That's not the right word. How do I say that right?
Precarious. I can almost guarantee that.
Precarious. That was the word I was looking for. Yeah.
Depends on what you're trying to say, I guess.
I can almost guarantee Precarious is going to be in the title this week.
You can see Craig writing it down right now.
Yep.
It's like, wait, how do I spell that word Scott made up?
Do precarious.
But it came out at a bad time, I should say, because it came out between a few different like
and kind of right at the end of summer too.
Yeah. Very end of summer, and I said, I didn't see much about it. I know this doesn't tend to fall into the kind of online tunnel that I'm kind of stuck in, like superheroes and stuff. So that makes sense why I didn't see too much for it, but I really did not hear anything about it. I couldn't even tell you what it's about. I know it's based on something, I think, but that's just me guessing because Mark Wahlberg does that. It's just guessing it's another one like where he was a cop in something.
You mean the Boston Marathon? Because that was a pretty decent movie.
Oh, yeah, I haven't seen it. Like
Patriots Day is such a good movie.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen that one yet either. But I think
I have to watch it.
I think I just kind of classified this one in with that, where I'm just like, yeah, it's just him doing some real life story, even though I have no idea if that's true or not. That's just what I guessed.
I was just looking it up. I don't think it is.
No, so there you go.
No.
So it's just another one of him trying to be like Max Payne or something.
Yes. So, top voted tags on Google for this movie: action-packed, violent, intense, plot twist, bad acting, fast-paced, confusing, must-watch, graphic, and forgettable. So
all of those are positive except for bad acting and forgettable.
Yeah, and confusing. Do with that what you will, dear listener. But it has a 22% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, which is fitting for mile 22.
But that sums up my list. Oh, and Christopher Robin, of course.
Right, you teased that off the top.
I teased that off the top.
So you had to include it.
Had to include it. It was actually a pretty decent movie. It was kind of cute.
I heard it was slightly sad.
Actually, it wasn't that sad.
No? Okay. Maybe I just listened to some pansies talk about it.
Yeah. You know me. You know I'm super emotional. It wasn't that sad.
That's what I mean. Like, if you weren't sad during it, then I don't, like, I'm like these people who I was listening to on a podcast, if they were emotional, I'm like, wow. Like, what? Their levels must be like off the chain.
Off the chain.
But no, I did want to. I'm curious about this one mainly because of Ewan McGregor, to be honest. I'm curious what they did with the Winnie the Pooh story. But I've also had a lot of the movie spoiled to me because I watch a lot of YouTube stuff and other podcasts.
It's more about him finding himself than anything.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
That's why it's called Christopher Robin.
Yeah. Like he gets sucked in, to the bullshit adult life. He goes to war, he comes back. He's kind of not a grizzled vet, but like it's changed him. He's given up on the child stuff and realized that the world sucks, and he really just wants to provide for his kids or his kid and his wife, because his dad died when he was young, and he became the man of the family way too early in life.
Yeah.
So he has that going for him, and he just happens to stumble across Pooh, and they kind of infer that like everything that happens in the 100 Acre Wood happened because like he needed it at that stage in his life.
Yeah. Well, that's how I was kind of interpreted.
And then he's lost, so like he goes in and he meets up with them again.
Yeah.
And then he goes back to the real world, but then all the stuffed animals come out, and they're trying to help him.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm tired. Jeez. Whew. Tired of talking about sad stuff. That isn't that sad. But I could talk about Ewan McGregor for days.
Yeah, days and days. But that's all we're gonna say about him today.
Yeah. We'll wait till another week.
Yeah. Maybe he'll make it on one of our weird actors to have entire episodes about.
That would be a peculiar episode to try and do. It'd be very all over the place, from train spotting to Bigfoot.
Yeah, exactly.
That actually might be pretty interesting.
The multi-genre episode.
Yeah. But do we have any other summer blockbusters we want to talk about from 2018?
I can't think of anything else that's on there. I clearly had already forgotten that Equalizer 2 was on there. And we've already mentioned everything else that's on my list.
Yeah. Well, we mentioned all my list. So should we move on to what we watched this week then?
WWWTW, obviously.
Well, you guys already know one of the things I watched.
Yeah, and we're super proud of you.
So proud
Well,
of
I
him.
speak for Andrew,
I have
but
seen this one
speak for
before.
Andrew.
In my defense, I had seen this one before, but I
Okay.
put it on again just because lately I've been in the mood for like putting stand up on while I cook, because then I don't have to worry about paying attention because I can just listen.
That's a
Right?
good
Yeah.
call.
So, yeah.
That's why I sleep. That's why I fall asleep to it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. And so yeah, I've been getting more into these different ones. And Crystalia is coming to Ottawa, and I'm still up in the air whether I might go. So
You should do it.
yeah, I think I might because it's literally a block from my house. So
Yeah.
it's not like it's a trip or anything. So I think I might. It's just when I went to go buy tickets last, the freaking website was being dumb. So I'm like, okay, I think I need to actually get on a desktop and not do it on my phone.
Yep.
Yep.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, but yeah, so I watched that. I also watched Dave Chappelle's almost all of his Netflix specials that he's done in the last year or two. Again, I was doing a lot of cooking, so yeah, they're on in the background. I really enjoy his ones; they're good. I feel like I've talked about them before.
I think we have. I didn't finish the most recent one, but I watched most of them, and it's entertaining. He's a different comedian now.
Yeah, he's so different. That's
Yeah.
which I kind of like about it too, because him during his Dave Chappelle days, it was a little hit or miss for me. I liked the Dave Chappelle show, but I didn't love every sketch, and I was in love with it. But I like him more now that he's a little older, that he's come back to it. He's a little wiser, a little bit more willing to just speak his mind about pretty much anything. I like one time he says, "I have a general rule. I never feel sorry about anything I say up here," and I'm just like, thank you. That's the kind of comedian I like. I like that.
What's fuck, what's his name? I was gonna say Jason Sudeikis, not it. Oh, it's gonna bug the shit out of me. I could picture him. He's dirty blonde. Anthony Jeselnik, that's who it was. Boom.
That guy doesn't care about anything.
Like him, zero. Like everything he says is just satirical and dark. And personally, I like it. Like I laugh all the time.
Yeah.
Every time I hear him. But that's just because I take it with a grain of salt.
Well, yeah,
Exactly.
You take it as his intent, which is
I take it with a spoonful of sugar, and when he makes a joke about raping his nephew or making fun of a kid who had cancer in school, it's super depressing, and it's just him pointing fun at
the kid
the fact that
with
you got
cancer in school joke is the best.
he.
I don't know what
we
to
all
say. I haven't seen it, so I can't comment on it.
funny. He talks about I forget how he sets it up.
They all shaved
But
their
he's-
heads
Yeah,
to make
to
basically.
It's
to
like
make
we
fun of
shaved.
the
Should,
kid.
yeah,
But then it only lasted a month
Oh yeah, because I heard
because he died.
because the kid died.
That's it. Like it's just the way he his delivery. Like his jokes are super fucking dark,
Yeah,
but he means them in a satirical manner. Like he's not that big of a dick.
yeah, no, I know what you mean. I like that style.
Or he does this joke about how his grandma gave him a Bible after he told her he wanted money. So every time he calls her up to ask for money, she's like, "Well, did you read your Bible?" And he's like, "Yeah, Grandma, I loved it. It's my favorite book ever." And he call her up again, like, "Grandma, I'm about to drop out of college because I have no money. I need money." She's like, "Well, did you read your Bible?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm writing a screenplay on it." Just shit like that. And then he finally opens it up, and I'm not going to spoil the joke.
Is there a bunch of money in it?
It is no.
Okay, because
No,
I thought that'd be really
Jeselnik
funny.
joke. It's gonna go opposite.
Well, that's fair. I don't know. I don't know his brand of humor.
None of it is positive. We'll go with that. It
Fair
is
enough.
all very dark.
Okay.
Very dark. But you should watch
So
it. 'Cause
dark.
Thoughts and Prayers is on Netflix.
Maybe I'll check that out next.
Add that to your cooking list for tomorrow.
Yeah. I like the way you put that in my cooking list. Yeah.
Exactly.
But should I let you guys know the last couple things I watched then?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so I binged the heck out of Iron Fist season 2.
Okay. Don't spoil it,
Yeah.
because I'm gonna watch it. I gotta ask though. In the thumbnail for it, they show him with his mask.
Yeah.
Other than like the one scene I saw in like a trailer where he's fighting the guy up in
No.
Kyung-Lung
no,
or
he
whatever the
doesn't.
fuck it is, he doesn't wear it.
No.
Son of a bitch!
Yeah. No. I know that was a little disappointing to me too.
I don't want to see him in his like super tight green shirt with the collar that goes up to his ears.
Yeah. No, I didn't. Even,
But
didn't
I want to see the mask.
Yeah. Well, he had. I don't know if you saw one of the posters. He was wearing like a thing covered, like a bandana that covered his mouth and nose at certain points in the season. So it's not a mask. That's yeah. But yeah. No, I enjoyed the season. I really liked it. It had a couple twists in it that I was just like, wait, nope, I didn't see this coming at the beginning of the season. But I don't want to ruin anything for you. So, but yeah, it was enjoyable. I liked it.
Do they do any like crossovers? Like, do they bring in any of the Defenders?
No, not any of the big names, but they did bring over, like, Misty comes over, obviously, Misty Knight, she comes over from Luke Cage, because her and Colleen team up a bunch, so that's a really cool aspect of it. No, I'm trying to think who else, just maybe, what's her, the lawyer chick, but she was in the first season,
Okay.
right,
Yeah.
so she kind of crossed over again. Yeah, it's just mainly just like the secondary characters like that. I think there was like a police chief that crossed over, stuff like that. So, but nothing,
Okay.
none of the big
special.
guys. Yeah,
Okay.
nothing big. Which
Damn.
slightly disappointing, but it kind of made sense. They did refer because like it's still like spoilers for Defenders. They still think Matt's dead, right?
Yeah.
So that's one person out. Luke Cage. They do drop Luke Cage's name at one point. Referring to stuff, how the second season of Luke Cage ended, like referring to how that, I don't know if you had gotten to all the way through that yet, but
Yep.
yeah, so like how he ends off as a kingpin type dude, right?
Yeah.
So like,
Yeah, where he takes over Harlem's paradise.
yeah, so like Misty says to Iron Fist at one point that she, might need his help with Luke. But that's it. That's all she says. Like, oh, I might need that glowing fist to deal with Luke at some point. That's all she says. So yeah, that's about the biggest connection. But it was good. I enjoyed it. Like I said, there was a bunch of twists. The kung fu, I think it's kung fu they do. The martial arts is a lot better in this season.
You were saying that, yeah.
Yeah, it was really well done. I think they also, I'm not 100% sure, but I think they give Colleen Wing's character more of the like group fights. Like she fights more groups of dudes. Like Iron Fist will have like a one-on-one fight while she fights a room full of dudes. And that happens like 4 times.
And he's like the sworn defender.
He's supposed to be the best one, yeah. And she's the
Yeah.
one who's taking out full groups of freaking things. So I think they did that because she has more actual real life martial art training, like the actress, more than Finn Jones. So I think that it was easier for them to go with that. But I just really enjoyed that because I'm like, I think she might have had a higher like butt kick count in this season than Iron Fist. I'm not 100% sure about that. I'm going to have to rewatch and do like a butt kick count. But I think it's very possible just because of the number of times she took on a group while he was doing like 1 or 2 dudes. You know what I mean? Like the first episode of the season, she's in a kitchen, 6 dudes she's fighting, right? And Danny's got 2 in the lobby. And I'm just like, okay, well that works.
So
yeah,
it's not like Luke Cage who just takes them all down by himself.
Yeah.
And then Misty like robot punches one dude.
Well, she does do some robot punching, but yeah, no, it's definitely. I would say Colleen does a lot more of the heavy lifting sometimes than he does. But he does also this season. He's a lot more proficient. He's actually able to use the Iron Fist a lot more easily.
Okay.
We learn a little bit more about that
Okay.
and the background stuff.
He draws from it easier. He doesn't have to like.
Yeah, he doesn't have to think about it. Like,
Okay.
Yeah, it's really good. I really enjoyed this. It's only 10 episodes too. That's a bonus for some people. That's not the 13 episodes that they normally are. So
Yeah.
it's pretty quick to get through. And yeah, there's some really cool twists in it that I don't want to spoil at all. They bring in a new character who's pretty cool. Yeah, it's good. You guys should check it. Well, Andrew, you should check it out. I don't know what Craig.
Who's the
Not
character?
really along Craig's line of
Yeah, no.
television.
Is it a new like superhero character?
Well, that's the part I'm a little confused about. She's kind of like a assassin with multiple personalities.
Well, now I gotta Google this rather than watch it.
I'm forgetting something Walker. Yeah, something Walker. But yeah, no, I like Iron Fist was pretty good. But the only other thing I
Mary
watched,
Walker?
Yeah, Mary. Thank you. Yeah, Mary Walker. Yeah. So her character was pretty cool. Like it's an interesting like addition to it. She's kind of like a wild card in a little bit throughout the season, because you know she has schizophrenia or not schizophrenia, dissociative identity disorder. Or
Okay. So she's split.
Yeah, pretty
Okay.
much. Yeah. So that was just an interesting part of the season as well. But yeah, overall it was fun. It was good. It was better than the first season, I think.
I'm glad.
Yeah,
Because the first season, like,
it dragged a little bit. I rewatched it.
I like the actor who plays Danny Rand. To be
yeah,
honest
I
with
think
you,
he
like,
fits the guy really well.
yeah, like he's super chill. He's just like, yeah, I got stuff to do. Whatever.
Yeah.
I gotta do this.
He is very
But he's
zen.
super chill, and I like it. But it was just the action in the first season
Yeah.
that kind of got to me,
It was-
and the fact that they overplayed that. You know, I'm Danny Rand, the
Yeah.
immortal Iron Fist, sworn protector of Kinlan, or whatever it was called.
I
Like,
still
and they
don't
just
remember
like
the
they just like leaned into it, and I was like, God, dude, we know who you are.
Yeah.
No one's watching this show on episode 7 randomly.
Wondering,
Like you have to get there.
Yeah,
No one just starts halfway through.
These shows aren't like randomly popping up on weekdays on television. It's just you
No.
have to go into it. So
Yeah, you have to make it happen.
No, I agree. But yeah, the last thing I just watched was Black Panther because it was added to Netflix and I haven't seen it since theaters, so I rewatched that.
What did you think of it?
Same thoughts as before. It's good. That's fine.
Nothing special.
It's a Marvel movie and I like it. It's enjoyable. I get why it was such a big hit. We already talked about this, like the demographic significance of it, and
Yeah.
I get that. And why it probably identifies more with that demographic than me. But I still enjoyed it. Like I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, this is shit, but it definitely has a few
No,
little
it was
things.
definitely a good movie.
Yeah, it
I'm
definitely
just-
is a few like little things, but I mean, like every movie has a few little things that you could poke at if you want. But I choose to just
Especially
enjoy
as you
movies.
watch them over and over and over again.
Exactly, and I haven't watched this
Except
one
for
too
the
many
Oceans
times.
movies.
Yeah, those just get perfect. They're more perfect every time.
Better.
No comment.
Eddie Vedder.
But that's all I watched this week. What did one of you guys take it off now?
Andrew,
Well,
you want to go ahead?
my list is fairly short. I watched a couple episodes of the first season of How I Met Your Mother
Nice.
Good call. Good call.
last night at Kendall's house.
Yep.
She was doing some work for school, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna watch How I Met Your Mother and try not to nap. And let me tell you, it was a struggle. Okay,
Not
but-
napping or watching How I Met Your Mother?
not napping, because How I Met Your Mother is amazing.
Yeah,
Even early season How I Met Your Mother.
that's what got us hooked.
That's it. So I watched that. I watched the final season, or the 16th season, of Family Guy again.
Obviously.
Obviously.
'Cause that's what you do. That's what you do when you finish a new season
Yeah.
of Family Guy. Is you start.
Because you're like,
You
because
just
you
restart
watch
it.
it in a day, 2 days tops, and you're like, oh no, I watched it too fast. So you go back and you watch it again, and you realize, you know what, it's still good. It's still good.
1 week later, still good.
Still good. It's been, which is a reference to that season.
part of the
They do-
the 6-second talk show.
Yeah, they do a millennial episode.
Such a good concept. I love
Yeah.
how every
And they're
time
like,
they
oh,
do the
kids
6-second
can't pay
talk-
attention to anything. So you do the 6 second, and they're like, and this week's musical guest, Bare Naked Ladies. And they cut to just the Bare Naked Ladies, like, yes, ban. And that's it. They just leave it at that. which is a reference to a Vine where they, it's literally just Yit's been like on a loop.
Mm-hmm.
But watch that again, still holds up. I watched the latest season of The Flash.
Oh, right on. Season 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm slowly
Yep.
making my way through that. So what did you think of it? I know me and you were kind of
It
talked
was-
about it before. You didn't love this.
It wasn't my
film.
favorite.
Yeah.
It was, honestly, I feel like it's gone downhill since season 2 a little bit.
Okay.
Like I feel like, I don't know, like Arrow started off with its like green Batman,
Yeah, feel to
you know,
it, yeah.
ways, and it's like it's stuck with that for the most part. So like, I embrace it fully.
Yeah.
Whereas the Flash, like, he's the fastest man alive. I feel like I just can't get behind his villains now because I'm like, well, fucking run faster, dude. Like, you can, like, it's just one of those things. I know how fast he's capable of moving, and just with the super speed,
Yeah.
they show him move, like, through his house at light speed. Like, he can move so fast no one can see it.
Yeah.
But then when he's fighting people,
I know.
he's
He'll
not
take
as
a
fast.
punch. Yeah.
Yeah, or like he
Sometimes his
won't,
super
or he won't
reflexes
catch
are
the car.
non-existent. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Like the episode where in season, I think it's season 2. Yeah, season 2 where they introduce Wally, and Iris almost dies because the car flips,
Yeah.
and like a piece of glass like flies at her or whatever. Like, and he almost, and you know, he doesn't catch it because he's not fast enough. And I was like, dude, like you can,
You are fast enough.
yeah, like you literally ran back in time, man. Like,
Yeah, that's one thing that does annoy me about the show sometimes is like
The lack
he
of
forgets.
continuity.
Yeah, like he
Yeah.
forgets his speed from episode to episode. It's like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
no, this
and he-
episode he could run back in time just on willpower.
Willy-nilly.
Yeah, and
well,
then
yeah,
the next
just
one
by
it's a
running
struggle.
and focusing on it, he can create his own time remnant and go back in time. And,
Yeah, and I'm just like,
Yeah,
I feel like
like
that has to be faster than just that, glass
Yeah.
shard flying.
Yeah.
That thing has a like speed limit on the,
Yeah.
whereas Flash you don't. Like,
So with this season, like I don't know, I don't like him having his own super team. Like,
yeah, I know what you mean.
With-
They're
with
getting a
Arrow,
little like
it kinda
crazy
makes
with the
sense.
powers. Yeah.
yeah, with Arrow it makes sense because it's just a bunch of vigilantes.
Yeah, they
And
just
they're-
have different like
Yeah.
fighting styles in a sense, and
Yeah.
a couple of them have just taser
Yeah.
guns.
That's it. Like they're just a bunch of vigilantes trying to take down a really corrupt city. Whereas the Flash is actually a superhero. Like he's not just a vigilante; he's
Yeah.
a superhero. He's not solving crimes; he's just taking down metahumans.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So like I don't know, like he can do it his own, and I think he was better off when people were like in the office, so to speak, like when they were back at HQ.
yeah, I know what you mean. He's definitely the team's. It's more like it has that like Legends feel to it because it's like it's very
Yeah.
like, oh, you've got 4 people who have got
Like now-
superpowers on the
Yeah.
team.
Like now I'm waiting for Wells to get his own superpower now.
I hope they
Like-
don't. Well,
like when they introduced what's his face Dittany, like
yeah.
I said before, like that's just a wasted character to me. Like he was useless. They could have done the whole season without his character.
Yeah, I don't like the
Like,
route they
there's
take
a-
with this character either. Like,
Like there was a few arcs where you're like, okay, this episode would have been hard to do without him, or it was about him or something.
Yeah.
But not a necessary.
You could have kind of made it.
You could have written around it.
Yeah.
Even Caitlyn being Killer Frost, like it was cool when it was when they had it going on in season 2, where she was from another world. She was evil.
Yeah.
And then in season 3, where they introduced it at the end, like her meta powers did manifest.
Mhm.
Or whatever, but having the it comes and goes, like Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde
Yeah.
style, like or like the Hulk when she gets scared or angry, it comes out like it was. She's hot when she's Killer Frost. I'm not gonna take it away from her. She's hotter as Caitlin Snow though, like when she just looks like Danielle Panabaker.
Yeah. I know what you're saying.
So like I just want to see her be kind of coy and just snarky enough and just adorable.
Mhm.
But I don't know, like I don't think the Flash needs his own team. It was cool when he had Wally as a sidekick. That's all I needed to see.
Yeah.
And with the upcoming season where it's like his daughter's supposed to be there, I really hope that it just like that's the first half of the season arc because they always change it about halfway through.
Yeah.
The Arrowverse,
That's
when they
what you gotta
introduced
do with
the-
20 episodes.
Yeah, like when you introduce the real threat in
Yeah.
the second half, like I'm kind of hoping the first half is like she messed up somewhere along the line or like something like that. So he's got to help her and get her back to the future, and then just, something else comes up in the second half. Because, like, I don't want to see him, like, just working with his daughter the whole time. Like, that's
no, I don't think that's going to be it either. Like, I think it will be more towards he's trying to help her get back to fix something, and then get back to, her time.
Or if they are going to keep her around, like, that's fine and dandy, but, like, she has to lose her powers or something. Like,
yeah, no, I definitely hope that like kind of plays into the season somehow, like something along those lines. Like either their powers affect each other, like they only one of them can use their super speed at
can tap into the speed force.
Yeah, like some weird rule like that would make it a little bit more interesting for this season, I think.
Yeah, like if they both use it, they can't move as fast or something.
Yeah, exactly. Like that would be really cool. 'Cause, like there's a comic book actually I read of the Flash recently, where it's like a bunch of people get like speedster powers, right? Yeah. But they all have to like split the speed force. And so I kind of like if there's some reason, like because they're genetically linked, because he's her father, right? Like because of that, he has a drain on his, or vice versa. And like I think that'd be an interesting aspect to it, definitely. But
like, I think one cool episode I'd like to see though, and before we put Craig to sleep, I'd like them like to bring in like Impulse.
Yeah, no, that'd be cool.
Like that would be awesome. Just because I love him and in Young Justice.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Like something like that, like a kid who's just like off the wall, just fucking bouncing around.
Yeah, just
like something like that would be sweet. If he just comes back like, hey, okay, just the timeline was kind of messy. Someone told me, okay, bye, and he goes back to the future.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Like that would be pretty cool. But I hope they get it in a good direction. Bring back Eobard Thawne. Bring back a good speedster villain. Like,
yeah, no, I would
personally, I liked when it was just he had to get faster, because that's the Flash, right?
That is the Flash. Like, it is kind of interesting to see, and I kind of
his thing is always run fast.
Yeah.
Like, and sure, he's smart. He knows a lot of stuff, and he can problem solve like a son of a bitch, but he's fast. That is his number one thing, is he is fast.
He's the Flash.
Like, I think the brawn versus brain thing, that's Lex Luthor's Superman thing.
Yeah, no, I know.
Like, I didn't need to see it last season. Mm-hmm. And like it was kind of cool seeing him, the DeVoe again, is being degenerative and like turning into just a brain. Kind of like,
yeah, pretty much.
Kind of like that Scarlett Johansson movie, was it Lucy or whatever, where she becomes like the universe at the end, which is crazy.
I've never seen that, but now I'm curious what the fuck that's
weird.
About.
Yeah, super weird, dude. She like takes a drug and she becomes one with the universe at the end of it.
All right.
But like his degenerative, but then like he absorbs powers and like he can walk again, and like he's he's a normal dude.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool, but at the same time, like, bring back another fast guy. Like, give me Godspeed.
Give me someone that can run really quick.
Yeah, like, I know some people, they didn't like the Savitar like twist that it was Barry.
I was 50-50 about that. Yeah.
Like, I wasn't sold, but I didn't really care. Like, I really liked the look of Savitar. It was badass. Yeah. And everything leading up to that point was pretty fucking cool.
It was really cool. I felt it was underwhelming. That was all. I was like, okay, yeah, no, I in the back of my head, I was like, oh, it's probably just Barry, evil Barry or something, just because.
Yeah.
And it just turning out to be him. I'm like, yeah, okay. You didn't shock me, guys. You just did what I thought or expected of you. Yeah. Like, that was my only thing. It was
just, I mean, that's just what they did with the CW that season, though. Like,
yeah, oh yeah.
Having the Prometheus, with Arrow being the antique.
Oh yeah, the
antique
like
Green Arrow. And, yeah. No. But anyway, so I finished The Flash.
Yeah.
Today at work, I had The Man of Steel playing, so I watched that. The movie's so good.
That's great. Like, I don't get why it gets bashed.
I don't know why people hate DC. Yeah, like, these movies, they're so good.
Because it starts with D, ends with C, and isn't Marvel.
Like, you're absolutely right. Like, there's
so
much
more.
T-shirt. Yeah, like there's so much more depth. I found.
Yeah.
Like just the storyline. Like, there's more substance. Each character has more depth, and you get to see more range of emotions. And it's just, they're better cinema. Like, they may not, like, the entertainment value, like, sure, they're not as funny, they're not as, overly exciting, all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But, maybe the big bangs aren't as, like, Marvel-esque. However, as a story and for movie continuity, like they're better.
Yeah.
Just, like not like leaving Batman versus Superman out of it, like just the color spectrums they use, like to the contrast and everything, the storylines, the story arcs, like everything is just it's better. Like even Suicide Squad isn't the worst movie made. The acting caliber is garbage, but like everything that goes on in it is pretty decent.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think certain fanboys have to be fanboys.
People
It's the
just
world.
don't want to accept good work for good work.
Mhm.
But you know what? Good job, Man of Steel. I applaud you.
We applaud you.
Yes, I agree. I enjoyed that movie.
But the last thing I watched this week was Downsizing.
Yes.
I
Because
haven't
it's
watched
on
that
Netflix.
yet.
What did you think about the stupid twist in the middle?
It was,
Do we want to talk about it? Because I know I left it.
Yeah, because I was supposed to watch it. I didn't do that.
I'm drawing a blank. Like which twist?
Where his wife? Okay, so
Where his wife pussies out at?
yeah, it's on
Yeah.
it's on an arc, and you're expecting an arc, and then they go in to do the procedure, and then his wife doesn't go through with it. She just leaves because she's Kristen Wiig and a terrible human being.
Yes.
And
I support you. I was okay with them getting rid of her because I just don't like her.
yeah, I mean, she was in the movie way less than I expected her to be.
Thank
but
God.
then it just goes on this really depressing and kind of like
Spiritual.
It's just a
like
flat. It's
yeah.
just flat.
Yeah.
There's nothing really incredible about the movie. The only thing that really makes it good is Christoph Waltz, and
Yep.
that's about it at that point because you're expecting
It was
one
a
thing.
long movie.
Yeah. Well, it feels long because you're
like-
expecting it to be
Yeah,
like,
it's like
oh
2.5
yeah,
hours.
we're gonna see what their life is like, transitioning to being small, and it was just basically the same thing it would have been on the outside, except with a bunch of people who are now small.
Yeah, like that was the weird thing, like for me watching it. Like I was cleaning out my grandmother's bathroom closet while I did it. And I was just like, holy shit, there's so much garbage into this movie. Fuck. So I was watching it and like it was just I feel like the only reason they did the downsizing bit was just to sell that his life is trash. Like cuz once he shrinks, there's nothing. Like there's maybe a dozen references to like normal size stuff.
Yep.
And everything looks the same once they're shrunken down.
Exactly.
Like it was just
It's
it was a
basically
decent
pointless, but yeah,
but there's no conflict.
it's not well until they get to the end where he's like, am I gonna go into the vault to live with the Norwegian people or am I not?
And that's not even really like
No, because he
conflict.
just decides he's not going to.
That's just a question mark. Like there's no threat of danger. There's no is someone gonna die. It's just him finding himself.
Not even any character development. It's just the same thing.
Which I kind of liked though. Like I did like the fact that he didn't really grow as a character.
Which
it was
is funny
just,
to say about somebody who was smaller.
He was I didn't even pick up on it. It just came out. But like he grew as a person, like slowly to the point where, like he just started questioning, who am I? What am I doing? Here I am. What the fuck have I done with my life? And that's like 3/4 of the movie of him just like being. And I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't necessarily hate, but I didn't really like his love interest.
Yeah, she's just irritating.
It was the over the top accent.
Yeah.
Like, and the fact that they like embellished the accent. Like, I don't know if she actually talks like that.
I don't know
But
either.
but they kind of like the way
felt-
her dialogue.
Yeah, it felt
like
like a
they leaned
caricature.
into it.
That's what it felt like.
Like, and it felt overdone to me, anyways.
Yeah.
But I didn't hate the movie. It was decent. I'd give it like a 7.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right.
A movie that if it came on, I'd watch it, but I'm not going to go out of my way to track it down. I'm never going to type downsizing into the Netflix search bar.
No. And yeah, I think that's what I came away with it from it too, is that I don't regret watching it, but it's not like I feel like I should get that time back, but I wouldn't go out trying to watch it again.
It's definitely not a date night movie.
No, because it's so weird.
Like for anyone like over the age of 38, maybe it is a date night movie, but that's for like married people.
Yeah, if you want to see how your spouse is going to stab you in the back when you make a significant life change.
Yep. And the other thing about his secondary love interest, where she's like, "What kind of fuck you give me?" He's like, "What?" Like,
Yeah, that was
there's pity
uncomfortable,
fuck,
eh?
love fuck, and just she in this heavy accent, just like listing off like 8 kinds of fucks.
That was
and he's like, "Stop saying fuck. It's so violent."
It's crass.
And then he's like, "Say make love." He's like, "Is that what you do? Make love?" And you're like, "Oh, why? What's with the accent? Like I get it. Like I get it for the character, but like, why is it so overdone?" And like, there's just the dialogue they chose for her, just like leaned into it.
Yeah.
But,
I'm not gonna watch that movie. I thought the twist was gonna be like
now
sci-fi related.
No. It's just
not even remotely.
I just thought it was dumb, but I called it.
And
a
I feel like they
twist.
didn't use Jason Sudeikis enough. Like, if you have him on retainer, use him.
Yeah, just use him.
Don't just say
Used
like,
him
"Oh
for like
yeah,
10 seconds.
yeah." It was such a piss off because I saw him. I was like, "Oh shit, he's gonna be a main character."
Nope. Calling him a secondary character is kind of generous.
He's tertiary at best.
Yeah, he's just there, so you're like, oh yeah, I guess people are getting downsized. I don't know what he's there for.
But Christoph Waltz was fantastic.
Yeah, well, he's always really good in everything, including
Like,
that one episode of Family Guy.
Yeah, he leans into everything. But that's my WWWTW list.
That's all you got, eh? All right.
That's all I got.
I will do mine then. So I can't remember if I'd finished Family Guy season 16 when we did the last episode. So if I hadn't,
we had not.
then okay. So then I finished it and then I started it again.
Because that's what you do.
As you do.
We talked about this.
We had to know that was coming, Scott.
Yeah, no, I did.
When I finished Family Guy season 16, I found that A Million Ways to Die in the West is back on Netflix. So I had to watch that again because for all of its really weirdness, it's still a hilarious movie.
And I love when they reference it in Family Guy.
When they're
when they're looking for Rocky 4.
And
And they come across like A Million Ways to Die in the West. Nope.
Seth MacFarlane hates on himself the entire season. It's kind of funny.
Which is hilarious. And now it's the people versus Ted 2. Oh, let's get out of here.
And, well, in the same episode as A Million Ways to Die in the West, when they're in Russia, he's like, we give you, if you say something, we'll give you something slightly worse.
Yeah.
He says,
The Simpsons.
you got The Simpsons? We have Family Guy. Oh, I want to.
I set myself up for that one.
So I watched that. I got my coworkers started on Oh Hello on Broadway at work.
What do they think?
They're enjoying it. It's really only for me and one other guy to watch. The rest of them
Worth it, though.
The rest
Worth
of them
it,
don't put any input in. So we watch something
No.
at lunch every day, and they always complain, but they never have anything to any input.
No suggestions.
So guess
Clearly,
what?
they do not watch enough.
Yeah, guess what? If you don't have a suggestion, then you're not allowed to complain.
I'm very much one of those people. I agree with you, I mean, Craig. Like, if you don't have a better suggestion, don't complain about the decision I've made.
Okay.
I will.
My thing is that they don't have anything to add. Like,
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
Tom Segura jokes about like how it's the most depressing thing, like the most depressing hobby ever. Like, I like my shows, but like everything I do, I either have music in the background or I have a show playing.
yeah.
No matter what I'm doing, and like I don't have to be fully intent on like sucked into it, but like I can pay attention. Like I can multitask. Most guys can't. I can multitask. Like, how do people not have something where they're like, "Oh, I saw this. You know, why don't you check it out?" Or who's like so embarrassed by what they're watching, they're not going to toss it out there. Like,
Exactly, but no one has.
and
any
how do people
suggestions.
not want to watch Toast of London? That's another thing. Okay.
Well, see, I'd have to skip episode 1 if I did that because I know for a fact that the over-the-top ridiculous sex scene that's in it would not fly at work.
like in the box.
Yeah.
Where he goes and hides in the box afterwards.
Exactly. Like
That's fair.
it's
However,
a
the
good
rest of it is
show.
just incredible.
Exactly. So it'd be worth it, but at the same time, I don't think it would fly for very long. It's a work environment. I have to be at least
That's
a little bit sensitive.
But my point is, I don't know how do your work colleagues not have something to add? How can they not be like, oh, let's just watch this, even if it was just 1 3-minute. Like,
well,
clip of
because
something.
I have managed to get them from, or to stop them from watching Impractical Jokers because I fucking hate that show.
Yep. Okay.
Every single thing about it, I hate it. It's stupid.
Yep.
So they used to watch those videos all the time, and I absolutely hated it. So I've kind of
Let's watch actual.
I've edged
funny
my
stuff.
way into things, and showed them. Like we watched John Mulaney's specials, and we watched Kyle Kinane and stuff like that, because I don't want to watch Impractical Jokers.
Yeah.
I would rather watch fail videos until the day that I stop working there than watch one more video clip of Impractical Jokers.
Yeah, I stand by that. I support it.
Because it sucks. But continuing on with what I watched this week, I watched Bert Kreischer's Secret Time again.
Nice.
Ray and I watched that this week.
Does it still,
Our buddy
does it
Ray.
still stand up?
It's so funny. The pajama bit's the funniest thing ever.
Oh, you're a fucking idiot.
It's just I
One
can picture
time
it
he made his
happening.
dad
I
laugh.
just want to come in here with Impractical Jokers and say IMDb gave it 4.5 stars.
Well, those people are all very dumb.
8.6 out of 10
It's
stars. Get the fuck out of here.
It's
you kidding me?
so dumb. It's humor for people who can't
Don't have humor.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to.
For people who can't see the
necessarily
humor in like
insult
everyday
anyone.
life.
But why would you think that any of that's funny? It's humor for people who have no empathy. Like these are the kind of people that watch Jackass because they think it's hilarious, and not
That's
because, and don't have any sort of empathy for anything. I guess I don't know.
I know what you mean. Like the
Yeah,
like
it's
I
just
can't
they-
watch practical joke videos because I'm just like
No,
no,
what
like
else?
if I was that person who you were practical joking,
Yeah,
you would not enjoy the video you got out of that.
No. You practical joke me and something goes wrong, like if something blows up in my face, something's getting hit.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, if you physically touch me in any way, I will actually assault you. Like that's happens. Okay, but it's not assault because it's self-defense because you touched me first, mother. Effort. Try to keep it a little bit more PG.
the exception to that rule would probably be Just for Laughs gags because those are harmless.
Yeah, those are
And
clean as shit. And
actually
usually they involve children.
Really dumb. Yeah, exactly. They're just really dumb.
Yeah, well, they're
And
harmless.
not
is the
funny in
point.
any way.
Yeah,
Exactly,
Like
but-
they're not trying to embarrass people. Like they're more like, oh, this person. Like they get actors to be embarrassed for themselves, and it's people's reaction to these,
Yep.
actors embarrassing themselves as opposed to we're prank, or like they'll do a prank like an actor or a performer on another performer as opposed to pranking.
And then they show them the camera, which is
Yeah.
always a nice bit at the end when the people see the camera. They're like, that's hilarious.
Yeah,
Whereas in Impractical Jokers, you just have people being really dumb,
yeah.
and I hate
Like
it.
I feel like just pranks in general, like maybe it's because I'm 85,000 years old at heart, but
Yeah.
like they just don't entertain me. Like
Yeah.
I see them all the time on Facebook and Instagram and shit. People sharing like one guy's YouTube videos where he either pranks his grandma or his girlfriend, and he thinks he's the funniest guy ever. And every time I see it, I'm like, dude, like, treat your woman with more respect.
Yeah.
Like, she's clearly fucking pissed off about the fact that you do this all the time. Like, either
Yeah,
kill yourself
if they've
or
stopped
stop.
laughing,
Like,
then that's when it stops being funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, what else? Oh, I was off sick all day today, so I watched some things. I actually slept
All
through
of
most
the
of it,
things.
but I watched some things. I gave the comedy lineup a shot. And for those who know and those who don't, the comedy lineup is a Netflix original series of 15-minute stand-up comedy bits from people you've never heard of.
Which
Ever.
is probably for the best at their 15 minutes. Like, give them a hot 15.
Exactly.
Let
and
them have a good time.
a lot of it's really like good quality stuff. Some of like not everybody's gonna have a really good 15, but there's a few that went up and did their bits, and there were some audible laughs they got from me. I found that they got a very specific kind of comedian, very liberal,
Okay.
which is
Not
a different
surprising.
brand of comedy in its own right, which is fine. I enjoyed it. They're well, I got to one episode and I just stopped because I couldn't handle the lady. She talks about how she turned 40 and then she repeats her jokes over and over and over and over and over and over and over again.
Like not just like
expecting-
recycling
because-
punchlines.
No, it's not recycling a punchline. But she also, she was talking about, she was doing a bit about sexual assault, which is,
Well,
you know,
that's just
fantastic. And yeah, that should have been my first red flag.
Yeah.
And so then
Not touchy.
she's kind of making a joke about how like all of her male stand-up comedian friends have been like, oh, I don't know if I assaulted somebody, and she's like, how do you not know? And then she does a bit about how like no one ever wants to see your dick, and then she goes through the list of the people that were all accused of doing that, and then she gets to James Franco, and then things get really uncomfortable because she's like, actually, I do want to see that, and then she repeats it for 2.5 minutes. So
Oh.
that was uncomfortable. I gave
Well,
up.
considering
Right
she
at
has-
that second, I was like, nope. That's inappropriate based on your based on the way you've been talking for the last 5 minutes. But also, who wants to sit and listen to you say that for 2 minutes? It didn't get any funnier after the first time.
She only had 5 minutes of material, so she had to just keep
She had-
recycle it as much
she
as
had
she
to
could.
plug it with repeating the same joke over and over
Yeah.
again. So don't let that one throw you off of watching it. I'd say give it a shot because some of them are really good, and then
I just
some
need
of
to
them are
interrupt
not.
real quick with
Yeah,
some
go
good
ahead.
news. Craig just texted me, sent me a picture of the greatest man to ever walk the planet, and no, it's not Jesus Christ. It's Ted motherfucking Danson.
Obviously.
Okay? So he sends me this picture, and I get super pumped. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go follow Ted Danson on Instagram because I don't do that, and he deserves my follow. In 1 month, as of August 27th, so September 27th, a new season of The Good Place starts. Ask me if that just made my night or not.
Did it made your night more than the picture that I sent you, which was the Trues and
Yes.
Ted Danson.
Like, I got pumped about the Trues and Ted Danson. Don't get me wrong. I'm all about Ted Danson because he's all up in CSI right now, and I'm super into CSI right now. I'm also super into Ted Danson.
Always.
I honestly, every day of my life, consider thinking, you know what? Maybe I should go back and watch Damages again, just so I can watch more Ted Danson.
You should watch Cheers. It's on Crave.
Maybe I should go watch Damages again. Because I like that breed of Ted Danson.
do
I like
both.
older, wiser Ted Danson. You know what I mean?
Old
get that.
retired pitcher Ted Danson's pretty cool too.
That's fair. Yeah.
He's just a it's a different look. That's all. Same
Yeah.
guy, same mannerisms, same voice. It's just a different look.
That's true. I just love Ted Danson. Anyways, go about the rest of your list.
So I only have one more thing, and the caveat I guess for this one is that I didn't get to watch all of it, but I will be. So I slept through a good chunk of Daniel Sloss is the name of the stand-up comedian. He's from Scotland, and they put 2-hour specials on Netflix. One that was recorded last year, one that was recorded this year, and the man is dark and hilarious. And he does one bit that like the whole crowd goes silent. It's fantastic. In like a
What's it about?
it's about his sister. I don't want to ruin it. If you watch
Okay.
it, I don't want to ruin it because it was really good.
Okay.
But yeah, no, he seems hilarious. His voice, his mannerisms, that kind of thing. His content's really good. I just didn't get to hear all of it because I slept through it because I was dead to the world today.
You did tell me about that, yeah.
Yeah. And that's my list. That's all I got. I
And
wasn't
that's all I
expecting
have
to
to say
get
about
into
that.
a debate about Impractical Jokers and things like that, but here we are.
That's forgot to grow
Here
up.
we are.
That is forgot to grow up. So, do we have anything else to add? We're 2 weeks away from our 1 year
Yep.
anniversary episode. It's going to be
It's
great.
been
Mark it on your calendars,
Yep.
you know, to listen. I can't tell you what the date that comes out is.
Yeah, no,
because
don't
that
even
seems
try.
really
I
far
was
away.
Like, I'm so lost when this episode's even coming out. I'm just like,
okay.
Yeah,
It's
spoiler
like a month
alert.
away.
It comes out far away.
I guess we should probably just thank our listeners for joining us today.
Thanks for listening, everybody. Tell your friends.
Tell your parents.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Probably not.
Depends
don't
on how
do
cool
that.
your parents are.
Yeah. If they're cooler than you, definitely.
Yeah, but no, tell your friends. And then have them tell their friends. And then have them tell their friends. And we're going to make this into a pyramid scheme.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
then they'll tell Ted Danson.
Yeah, and Ted Danson will listen. And we'll have Ted Danson and Seth MacFarlane listening to our podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all we
Because
need.
one of those is happening.
We're pretty sure. We're not conspiracy theorists, but it has to be happening.
Yeah.
There isn't any
legit.
evidence against it yet.
Exactly.
There's
No one's
nothing
come
to
out-
disprove
He
it.
hasn't come out and said that he's not. So
We're innocent until proven guilty.
Exactly.
So until Seth MacFarlane tweets that he didn't copy us, then he copied us.
Yep. I think
And
that's
thank
how
you.
it works.
We appreciate it.
all right.
Thanks for listening this week, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.